the belief in the power of thought has deep historical roots shaping spiritual, psychological, and therapeutic practices across centuries. From early forms of mesmerism to the modern-day law of attraction, the idea that our thoughts can directly influence our reality has evolved into a significant cultural and philosophical movement. This module explores the origins of this belief, tracing its evolution from Europe in the 18th century to its widespread popularity in modern self-help and spiritual movements. The notion of the power of thought as a transformative force can be traced back to the late 18th century with the work of Franz Anton Mesmer, a German physician who proposed a theory of animal magnetism.
I believed that an invisible natural force flowed through all living things, and that the mind could harness this force to heal physical and psychological ailments.
His method, known as mesmerism, from which modern hypnosis evolved, involved inducing a trance-like state in patients to manipulate this force. Mesmer's practices gained rapid popularity, first in Germany and then across Europe. By the early 19th century, mesmerism had crossed the Atlantic to America, where it influenced a generation of thinkers, healers, and spiritual leaders. While Mesmer's ideas were controversial and often dismissed by the medical establishment, they resonated with those searching for alternative methods of healing and self-improvement. The notion that the mind could influence physical outcomes laid the groundwork for later developments in hypnotherapy and the power of thought. In the mid-19th century, mesmerism influenced the work of Phineas Quimby, an American clockmaker and healer.
I expanded upon Mesmer's ideas, emphasizing the role of belief in healing. I argued that illness was often a product of negative thinking, and that the mind had the power to overcome disease.
Rather than focusing on an external force, as Mesmer did, Quimby believed in the power of the individual's mind to heal through positive thought and mental focus. Quimby's work marked a shift toward what would become known as New Thought, the belief that thoughts could shape reality. He's often considered a pioneer in hypnotherapy, using trance-like states to help individuals reframe their beliefs and heal themselves. His teachings would go on to influence many key figures in the New Thought movement. William Walker Atkinson, an early 20th century author and thinker, was instrumental in further developing the idea of thought as a creative force.
In my writings, particularly in books like The Law of Attraction in the Thought World, I emphasized the power of desire and will in manifesting outcomes. I argued that thoughts combined with strong desires and mental imagery could lead to concrete actions, ultimately shaping one's reality.
Atkinson's approach blended elements of Eastern mysticism, Western psychology, and New Thought principles. His work emphasized that the will, the driving force behind one's desires and imagination, the mental pictures one creates, must be aligned for thought to manifest in reality. This idea became a core tenet of many later self-help philosophies and the law of attraction movement. Other influential figures in the New Thought movement. The early 20th century saw a flourishing of writers and thinkers who expanded on these ideas, linking the power of thought to health, wealth, and personal success. Wallace Wattles in The Science of Getting Rich, 1910, asserted that creative visualization and a positive mental attitude were key to financial success. His work laid the foundation for modern self-help literature. Florence Scovel Shinn, in her book The Game of Life and How to Play It, 1925, emphasized the importance of positive affirmations and visualizations. She believed that by aligning one's thoughts with their desires, individuals could create the life they wanted. During the late 19th and early 20th centuries, spiritual movements like Theosophy and Christian Science also contributed to the growing belief in the power of thought.
I believe that illness could be overcome through spiritual understanding and that the mind had the power to heal.
Eddy's work focused on the idea that divine thought governed reality and that humans could tap into this power through prayer and positive thinking. The Theosophical Society, founded in 1875, furthered these ideas by promoting a blend of Eastern and Western spiritual philosophies. This movement embraced the belief that the mind and the universe were interconnected, and that spiritual enlightenment could be achieved through mental discipline and meditation. These ideas, in turn, influenced later New Age thinkers and the self-help movement. The 1970s saw a resurgence of interest in Eastern philosophies, mysticism, and the belief that the mind is connected to universal forces. The New Age movement, which gained popularity during this time, emphasized the idea that thought and intention could shape reality. This period also marked the rise of self-help as a genre, with figures like Wayne Dyer popularizing the concept of using positive thinking to achieve personal growth. Esther and Jerry Hicks, The Law of Attraction. Among the key figures in the modern revival of the power of thought are Esther and Jerry Hicks, who introduced the teachings of a non-physical entity known as Abraham. Their work, particularly through books and workshops, brought the law of attraction to a broad audience. The law of attraction posits that individuals attract into their lives whatever they focus on, whether positive or negative. By aligning their thoughts and emotions with their desires, people can manifest the reality they seek. Rhonda Byrne and The Secret. The modern popularization of the law of attraction reached its peak with Rhonda Byrne's The Secret, published in 2006. Byrne's book, which became a global bestseller, simplified and repackaged the concept for a mass audience.
In The Secret, I claimed that by focusing on positive thoughts and visualizing one's goals, individuals could attract success, happiness, and health.
This work brought the idea of the power of thought into mainstream culture, influencing millions around the world. Bob Proctor and Louise Hay. Power of Positive Thinking and Visualization. Bob Proctor and Louise Hay are two additional key figures in the modern self-help movement who have built on the principles of the law of attraction. Proctor, a motivational speaker, emphasizes the importance of visualization and positive thinking in creating one's desired reality. He teaches that by focusing on what one wants, rather than what one fears, individuals can bring about transformative change in their lives. Louise Hay a spiritual teacher and author of You Can Heal Your Life, published in 1984, has written extensively on the link between thought and health. Hay argues that many physical illnesses stem from negative mental patterns and that healing can be achieved through affirmations and positive thinking. The evolution of the belief in the power of thought reflects a long-standing human fascination with the mind's potential to shape reality. From Mesmer's theories of animal magnetism to the New Thought movement and the modern-day law of attraction, the idea that our thoughts can influence health, wealth, and happiness has persisted and expanded. Today, this belief continues to resonate in the fields of self-help, psychology, and spirituality, offering individuals a framework for personal empowerment and transformation.